I'm Scott. Joining me now is Josh Kelly, and we got another author. We're going to talk a little bit more about writing. And thank you for tuning in. I hope that you've been watching it from the beginning. If not, I would assume that this will be available on the YouTube channel later. Is that right? Yes. You watch the whole thing from the start. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, the whole shebang. And if you missed any of it, you really should watch the whole thing because the music has been incredible. The interviews, inspiring. Whoever the Scott Leffler guy is that they got to do the interviews, this guy's brilliant. And you should really look him up. But right now, we're going to talk about Josh. Josh Kelly, thank you so much for joining me. So, live broadcasts have a tendency to develop as they go. And at the beginning of the night, I did not know I was going to be talking to you. And yet, here you are. And I'm glad to have it. So, you are an author, and you're currently working on more authory stuff, which is, like, that's how that works, right? Like, you write one, and you're like, oh, now I got to write 8 more books. Because, like, one is never enough, right?
It's never enough.
But let's start with the first one. What? Tell me about your first book.
First book I ever wrote?
Yeah.
Okay, first book I ever wrote is actually called The Ominous, Some Play It Safe, Heroes Don't. And generally it's about 6 teenagers. Each of them learn that one of their parents was actually an alien, and because of that, they have strange powers that they don't know how to control.
All right.
So they go to an academy.
So we got like an umbrella academy sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Sort of. Yeah, like they go to academy to help them learn about their powers, but the headmistress, who's an alien, she actually has...
Not a bald guy in a wheelchair. All right.
Nope.
That's a different... All right.
Far different. Inspired, but different.
No, but... Well, there's so much available in that genre. I'm sorry I cut you off. Go on.
Sure. Basically, the premise is the headmistress wants to use these 6 teenagers, specifically them, for a nefarious purpose to kill off humanity. So they have to escape the academy and work together to stop the headmistress.
Gotcha. So, what inspired this? So we've got some sci-fi in here, obviously.
Yeah.
And then there's just like the human condition, and then, like that's one of my favorite things about writing in general is the ability to look at the human condition and like our ability to be good, but our penchant to not be. So, was there a thing that you were watching or reading or even listening to that you're like, oh, bing, light bulb, I got to do this thing? Or were there little pieces here and there? Where'd you get the inspiration?
Originally, like growing up, I got the inspiration from like certain books that I read, like from Harry Potter to Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Right.
And I'm a millennial, so I grew up on the early 90s X-Men cartoon.
Gotcha. All right. So obviously that all fits in. So that was book number 1. When was that?
The first book, that was about, I want to say maybe 2016 I wrote that.
Okay. All right. So we're 3 years on, and where are you at now?
Right now, so far I've also written a 3rd book. It's a different series on its own, and I'm just going through it and cleaning up the
Gotcha.
mess with it.
Now, are these self-published?
So far, they're self-published.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So, you're a young guy.
Yeah.
I'm old. When I was young, self-publishing was not a thing. I mean, it was kind of, but it was still really expensive. It was difficult. And you're still talking about paperback books, and just the costs are just incredible. One of the really cool things about 2019, technology, art, like this all fits in perfectly here, right? One of the great things about where we're at in the world is that you can write a book, save it in like EPUB format, upload it to Amazon, and boom, you've got a Kindle book. And maybe you sell a couple hundred of them. Now all of a sudden, you've got money to actually publish a book. Or now there's the thing where you can literally publish on demand, where you can publish a couple books at a time if you want to.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing when I was younger. So 2019 in so many ways is so friggin' cool. Which makes me wonder, like, how far are we away from like alien children who are being sequestered by evil women? Because I think that might be next.
It might be.
It might be. So the new series, is it the same sci-fi feel to it, or did you go in a different direction?
A little bit of sci-fi. It's more into like the fantasy, involving witches
Okay.
and folklore.
Gotcha. Are you a Supernatural fan?
Actually,
The show.
Supernatural. A little bit on Supernatural. More been a charm guy.
Can't beat that. I I had a friend who told me like for years, oh, you gotta watch Supernatural, you gotta watch Supernatural. Whatever, I got other things going on. So last year, I watched the first season of Supernatural. We're in May, right? So last night, I finished the 14th season. So last year I watched one season. And in the first 5 months of this year, I watched 13 seasons. I should have more of a social life, really, but it's been great. It's been fun. And, like, it is really cool to be able to build your own world and do what you want and change the laws of physics if you want to. And, like, writing has got to be liberating because, you know, you come home from school or work or whatever and you're just frustrated with how the world works. And, like, you look at the news and you're like, is this real life? And then you're like, I don't even have to real life if I don't want to. I can write.
Right.
So that is pretty cool. Josh, if I wanted to buy your books, where would I get them?
You can always get them on Amazon.com.
All right.
Like under my author title, Boss Kelly.
Boss Kelly?
Yeah.
Kelly or EY?
Kelly.
Kelly. Machine Gun. Boss Kelly. So I can get them on Amazon?
Yep, and you can always hit me up on my social media.
All right.
Like on Instagram, Boss Kelly E2392.
All right.
And also on Facebook,
All right.
Boss Kelly.
I'm going to hit you up on Instagram later. Josh, I appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate you.
All right. So there we go. So Josh, check his books out. And so the author thing, like I said, we weren't going to do this half hour. This just kind of came together. This is how live broadcasts work. But it's really cool because it totally fits in with what we're doing tonight. Because tonight's about arts and technology coming together to make the world better. And, or in Josh's case, making your own universe, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things about like the Harry Potter books is like J.K. Rowling didn't just write works, she created a world, which is just the coolest thing. Anyway, all I'm doing right now is creating a video on the internet, which has value, I suppose, but what's more valuable is taking a short break, and when we come back, we got one more author.